Hello and welcome. Today we have some great video planned for you here, so let's just get right to it. Today's car is a car that can definitely not climb this mountain. Definitely not want to take near this water. Because you don't want it in water. The car that we're going to talk about today has a long history. It really does. To show you, let's just take a quick look at the first car. This here is the Ford GT40 in the 1960s. This was the car that Ford had made as a supercar. This car is so awesome at its time. This was the car of the time. But at some point that car had to end. In 1995, Ford had a concept. This here is called the Ford GT90. Now this car was interesting as a concept, but they never really produced it. In 2005, Ford came out with yet again another car. In this time, Ford came out with the Ford GT, and here it is. It looks very similar to the Ford GT40. That's because they were going to call this the GT40, but they couldn't for legal reasons with the name. And finally, in 2015, Ford has released concept of this picture being a picture of the 2016 Ford GT. They said they didn't have any legal name issues because they own the name completely. Here it is. This is the new look of the new Ford GT. This car has 600 horsepower from a 3.5 liter engine, and you know, it is the Ford EcoBoost engine, so it doesn't sound that impressive. The EcoBoost V6 is the most powerful EcoBoost engine that they made ever. So the EcoBoost is a bit better for the environment. It's supposed to help you with gas mileage, but who really wants to care about that when you're driving this car? Actually a lot, because these cars use a lot of gas. So that car right there is the car we're going to talk about. This car is the third of the Ford supercar line. Obviously, as you know, we've seen the Ford GT40 and the Ford GT. The GT90 is still in there, sort of as like here was the original concept in 2000 for the 2005 car. 2003. So they don't have the V8 engine. They do have a V6, but like I said, it's the EcoBoost engine. Very powerful. This car can go 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. The top speed of over 200 miles an hour. This here has carbon fiber, so it doesn't weigh a lot. It's got similar chassis components of the McLaren 650S and the P1. It'll have one of the best power to weight ratios of any production car. Now, just to put it in sense, power to weight ratio for Bugatti Veyron, the power to weight ratio is 500 horsepower. So they're trying to make this here be one of the best for that. This here has obviously aerodynamics is big in it. There's more obviously styling to it than there was with the GT. from about 2005, like I said. There's a lot of it. This here has active aero to it also, which is similar to what we've seen with the LaFerrari, not the LaFerrari, the Ferrari 458, and the, what's the other one? The F12 Berlinetta. As you know, the F12 Berlinetta has a gap here that opens up for the brakes and some other fancy stuff, so that when it opens up, it cools the brakes. For the other one, the 458 Italia, it has the thing right here that like goes down, keeps the air down. So then you're supposed to have something special with the spoiler in the back. Assuming that could have something to do with it. And these here are supposed to be part of the Ford GT. These are really what you need if you're going to have a Ford GT. You really need that. It also has a specific suspension for like race car. It has a paddle shifter, which is right near the steering wheel, so your shift just hit the paddle, so it's not as cool. So when this car comes out, 2016 is going to be a great year for cars. Got the Ford GT, the new Turbo 458 Italia, the Ferrari 458. It's going to be new Porsche 911 GT3 RS, and also the new Honda NSX car, and the McLaren Sport Series car. So it's all going to be cool cars that they're going to have coming up soon. And before we end this, I think it's important that we take a look at what the back of this car really does look like. There it is. Definitely a lot different from what we've seen with the older Ford GTs. The Ford GT from the GT40 and the Ford GT. And you expect most supercars, they're going to have crazy interiors, but this in here doesn't really have anything super crazy on it. But like I was saying with the pedal shifters right here, or the two pedal shifters instead of having a shifter down here, which is obviously probably more cool than a boom, boom, boom with your hand. You just hit forward when you're done shifting. As you're down here, you're like, but it doesn't make it good for if you're racing. But if you're just going on the road, you definitely want to have the whole shifting element to it. But there it is, the new Ford GT 2016.